Hey everyone! You know, the wizarding world of Harry Potter is so interesting, magical, enchanted, and discriminatory. So today I'll be talking about how J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter universe is actually a lot more prejudiced and unfair than we might have realized. Because there are examples of discrimination all over the movies and books, and if we think our society is discriminatory, then check out the world of Platform 9 3/4. I'm sure that if you read the books as a kid, you always hoped that a letter from Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry would show up at your door one day. I mean, how cool would being a wizard be? Well, actually, not that. The biggest example of discrimination in Harry Potter is based on blood status. If you need a bit of a refresh, there are three main categories of blood in the wizarding world. One can be a pure blood, the highest status, a half-blood, the middle status, or a mudblood, the lowest status. But it doesn't have to be this way, at all. A pure blood is simply a wizard born from two magical people, a half-blood is a wizard born from one magical person and one muggle, and a mudblood is someone born from two muggles. Despite these differences, though, purebloods, half-bloods, and mudbloods have the exact same capabilities, unlike Squibs, who I'll get to in just a bit. So then why are they viewed so differently by many people? Well, for this we have to go all the way back to before the year 993, when Salazar Slytherin was born. Slytherin founded Hogwarts along with his friends Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, and Rowena Ravenclaw. But after a few years, a rift grew between Slytherin and the other founders, which eventually led him to leave Hogwarts. And why did that rift occur? Because Slytherin despised accepting Muggle-born children into Hogwarts. If it weren't for the other three founders, especially Gryffindor, Hogwarts may have turned into a pureblood-only school, something that would completely twist the events of Harry Potter. Salazar Slytherin never got his wish, though, but it still set the tone for the decades ahead. His message, that Muggle-born wizards are less than pure or half-blood wizards, got through, primarily to his descendants and children sorted into his house. Just look at the Malfoys, for instance.
Filthy little mudblood.
But even more than them, look at Lord Voldemort and his Death Eaters. Being a direct descendant of Slytherin, since he's a Parselmouth, Voldemort is probably the most like him of any other wizard who's ever lived. I think you get the point, though, which is that Slytherin and his descendants are the biggest reasons for the constant discrimination against Muggleborns. Coming up with the term mudblood deepens it even more, basically saying that their blood is tainted and dirty. And again, there's absolutely no difference in the character, strength, intelligence, or anything about a mud, half, or pureblood. Which brings us to a population even more segregated than mudbloods, Squibs. Squibs are essentially muggles born from at least one magical parent, and are extremely rare. The two prominent examples of Squibs in Harry Potter are Argus Filch, the caretaker of Hogwarts, and Arabella Figg, Harry's neighbor. The two of them, along with others in the wizarding world, are treated by wizards with much disregard. Squibs often find themselves joining the Muggle society because even though they have knowledge of magic, they are incapable of performing it themselves. Which is why Squibs are considered to be shameful and an embarrassment to families. Even the Weasleys, one of the kindest, most accepting wizarding families, seemed ashamed to have a Squib who works in the Muggle world as an accountant in the family. And for this reason, many Squibs try to live in hiding their whole life, shielding themselves from the discrimination that comes their way. But blood type isn't the only example of segregation in Harry Potter. Another big one is the treatment of House Elves, who are basically slaves that are sworn loyal to their masters. They're often treated brutally by their owners, with Sirius Black being a good example of this. Despite being a good, kind wizard, he handled his House Elf creature with harsh mannerism. House Elves actually have a very powerful type of magic, a kind that doesn't require a wand, but they're only utilized for things like house chores, errands, and cooking meals at Hogwarts. Seems like a waste, don't you think? Dobby hated his owners, the Malfoys, so much that he independently attempted to aid and protect Harry in the Chamber of Secrets. Harry eventually frees Dobby in the same book, but not before it's revealed how mistreated Dobby was by Lucius Malfoy.
Come, Dobby. You've lost me, my servant!
And Hogwarts itself is even a discriminatory wizarding school. As mentioned in the Super Carlin Brothers' latest video, the Book of Acceptance and the Quill of Admittance are the two items that work together to decide which children should be accepted into Hogwarts and which shouldn't be. As soon as a child that shows any magical ability is born, the Quill will write their name down in the book. But the catch is that the book must agree with the name, and if it doesn't, it will snap shut, preventing the name from being recorded. Yet another example of the importance of magical blood and ability. I mean, the Quill tried to write Neville's name down many times, and the book kept closing since it thought that Neville might have been a squib. Even the Sorting Hat itself is not so much discriminatory, but is kind of unjust by placing students in houses that they might not have wanted to be put in, or might not have been right for the student. I mean, just look at the amount of fan theories on how the Sorting Hat was wrong with, like, every main character. Even the procedure itself is really weird. Like, the Sorting Hat doesn't care where you want to be placed unless you ask, and then it places you there no matter what. So through all of this, you can definitely argue that the wizarding world is even more of a discriminating, unjust society than the one we live in. It's shown not just through big concepts like blood status, but even through how kids are raised by their parents. In our world, it's bragging and competing over who has the latest iPhone, while in the wizarding world, it's bragging and competing over the latest broomstick. And personally, I'm a classic Nimbus 2000 guy. But blood status is the most discriminatory aspect here, brought to light mainly by Salazar Slytherin. I hope you enjoyed finding out about the prejudiced wizarding world, and I'll see you soon. Oh, and just look at how Lucius Malfoy literally exemplifies every part of the segregation that I've talked about today.
Yes, Draco's told me all about you and your parents. Tatty, second-hand book. You must be the Weasleys.